Hey everyone, it's Clara from Marxism, Feminism, Maoism. There's a lot of shitty takes from Marxists who are, mostly straight white dudes, who dismiss the ideas given in Jay Sakai's book, Settlers: Mythology of the White Proletariat. Surprisingly, most of these guys, as much as they love to criticize the fuck out of Jay Sakai, right? They never read the fucking book. And you know what we say to people who never read up on a subject? As Mao said, no investigation, no right to speak. Gotcha, bitch! Ha ha! Woo! So Settlers isn't anti-revolutionary. It isn't reverse racist, as many like to call it. Settlers, at its core, is the history of settler colonialism and the foundation of building a revolution in a settler colonial state. Now, before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to a Dead Man Animations video on Settlers. It's where I got the inspiration to actually, read the book, and his videos are a lot better than anything I could have fucking made, right? I also would check out Young Simba's conversation about the book with Paul Moran. It's a very insightful analysis or whatever. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes. So if we're going to talk about Settlers, right, we got to talk about the author, right? It's Jay Sakai. Now, Jay Sakai doesn't actually fucking exist, right? But it's a pen name for this Japanese American revolutionary who was prominent in the 1970s and 80s. Sakai originally started Settlers as an article trying to figure out where the origin of the racial divide between white workers and people of color. Unfortunately, he had to go all the way back to the beginning of the country to find the origins, which is why the book is like 180 goddamn pages. Okay, so Settlers overall is a history of white people in the United States through the lens of a Marxist person of color. It explains that socialist movements primarily led by white people usually take a reformist attitude and mainly abandons the people of color in the movement. In one area, Sakai talks about the people who colonized America weren't working class folk. They were trying to like who like risked life and limb to like make a better life. He talks about how a lot of the people who came over to this country and colonized it weren't workers at all. They were very much nobles and rich dudes just trying to make like some more money off of this new land. Sakai also takes like personal experiences that he's had, like to kind of ground it in the reality of the time, that this isn't just history. This is stuff that affected like actual revolutionaries and actual workers going on in like 30, 40 years ago, right? However, this book isn't just like a shit talking of like white people. It most definitely is. Sakai like refers to white people as shock troopers, and like rails pretty hard against white people. But it isn't saying that like there is no white like proletariat as the title might suggest. Right? There is a fair-skinned labor aristocracy. Now that's a really weird term, right? Like it's like what the fuck is that, right? But what Sakai is trying to say is that the majority of white people have far less revolutionary potential than those who experience the most amount of repression in settler colonial states, right? Look at it this way, right? You're a socialist or communist in a place like Israel, right? A place with like a long history of like divides between these two states, right? Are you going to try and build like a movement through Israel itself? Like, are you going to try and like unite the workers in Israel? Or are you going to like support or build solidarity organizations with the people like the PFLP that is actively fighting against this capitalist system, right? Like, yes, there are workers in Israel who are most definitely like oppressed by the capitalist system, but they don't have as much revolutionary potential as the people like actively fighting that government. Now, let's take that situation and apply it to the United States. The only fair-skinned working class people going out with guns are fascists and like libertarians, right? The only socialists doing that are people like in the history of like American socialism. It was people like the Black Panthers and the Young Lords, right, or the BLA, right? It's not, it was never like white people. Like, yeah, there's stuff like the Blair Mountain, but like in more recent history it has been at least the more successful ones that have like succeeded in building dual power structures have majority have been people of color led. Today, you can even like look at groups like the NAFC or the various like Black Panther groups that are around. They're going out with their guns and they're like protecting their communities and stuff, right? But you don't see that with like CPUSA or PCUSA. It kind of shows the revolutionary potential between these two groups. Um, this isn't saying that like people of fair skin are not going to be like play a role in the revolution. Most definitely not. It's just that we're not. It's just that people who are fair skinned are not going to be like leading the revolution. In Deadman Animation's video, he brings up Black Red Guard. I forget this is like a separate Black Red Guard video. I mean, check out both channels because they're both really good. But Black Red Guard in this video talks about like killing the settler in your head, right? And I think that like we should that like fair skinned people should be doing that instead of like tripling down on like their own whiteness, and instead of like doing this shit where it's like you're constantly arguing about identity, like being anti-idpol or whatever. And it's like, I get it, right? Like you can be anti-liberal, like you can look at like the shit when Oreos like is like, oh, trans people are real, and like, you know, you could be like, oh, this is clearly bullshit. This doesn't help the trans community in any way. But like making the same reactionary positions that like the fucking people like Chris Ray Gun or like Sargon of Akkad make, it's just like it's goes against the cause you claim you're fighting for. That was pretty much it. Like I don't know. I've seen this critique of settlers a lot, and it's kind of bothered me. But you know, as I said previously, check out the Deadman Animation video and the honestly Black Red Guard and the Young Simba video that he did with Paul Moran, because those are both really fucking good. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this multiple times, but I don't know if I do make another video, guys. I'll see you guys later.